Stevens, you drive me crazy. It's BBC Radio Stoke. I admitted yesterday I quite like the idea of denim. I want to be able to get away with wearing denim again. I was thinking of Status Quo called Shaking Stevens. He was the ultimate denim man, wasn't he? But he can't be done. I don't know. We'll find out if he can be done because I've got a fashion guru opposite me at the moment. His humble beginnings comes from Talk Pits, but you've made it in the world of fashion. Simon Whitehouse, thank you for coming in today.
Hi, nice to see you.
And I am right, it is a tough industry. It's we talk about if you want to be a spaceman, that's very, very, very tough. For example, racing driver, incredibly tough.
Absolutely.
Fighter pilot.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's a creative industry now, so it's one of the most desirable industries that there is. Between music, film, fashion, it's that genre of industry,
And looking from the outside in, I'm someone who has the sartorial elegance of a nudist. Not that I'm naked. But looking from the outside in, it seems even tougher than those other artistic areas for me. It does seem the values seem to be very hard to grasp within.
Well, I can't comment. I've got friends in film and I've got friends in music, and I don't know. But what I could say, fashion, it takes a relentless determination to succeed in it. Yeah,
it's an industry based on shifting sands because everything changes, doesn't it?
That's the nature of the beast. Yeah, it's a mad industry where. It used to be every 6 months, now it's every 3 months traditionally where there's a new collection that needs to be developed at that level. Of course on the high street, much quicker turnaround, but at that level, it's every 3 months you're making a new collection.
Yeah.
There's not many industries where it's like that, where you have to stop, take stock, and then, create something completely new again.
Well, the motor industry thinks in decades, doesn't it? I think.
There you go.
Pharmaceuticals, they think in generations.
You just thinking on your feet, and it's crazy in that way.
So, and what's your role been largely throughout? You've been overseeing a lot of people.
Yeah, I've specialised in sales and commercial areas, and then as it's gone on, I've been doing almost 20 years now. It's developed into merchandising, working with collections, giving a structure to a collection, and then brand building and communication, and all the aspects of a brand and what makes a brand successful. This has been.
And we're talking big brands as well, aren't we? DKNY, Diesel.
Exactly. Yeah. So the last 4 years I've been living in Italy. I've been living in Milan. And I just left the company.
Right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that in a moment, but what I really want to find out shortly from you, Simon, is how a boy from humble beginnings in Talk Pits can end up in Milan and New York, and we'll find out as we talk to you after the latest news with Casa. Donna Summer, it's not one of those acts we can't believe it. It's a bit like Whitney Houston, that she's not with us anymore. Love's Unkindness, good song. BBC Radio Stoke, hello. So I'm speaking to Simon Whitehouse. If you've just joined us, perhaps during or since the news, Simon, local lad, comes from Talk Pits, but he is globe-trotted. He's been everywhere, and in an industry that says we've established, it's a pretty tough one to make it in, the fashion industry. So as I mentioned, you've worked for DKNY. Where did it all start for you, though, in the fashion?
I started actually with Infinities in Newcastle and Hanley. And Martin Sol, the owner, we used to go to school. I've known him since we were 4 years old. So we're very good friends. And I started there for a couple of years while I was doing university. I finished a degree. Then went to work in London. Worked for Camper, the shoe company.
Yeah.
And then very quickly I got promoted. I wasn't even intending to do it. I was thinking to just get a job, pay the rent, and become. Get on some graduate management trainee scheme with a company, something like that. I never thought about fashion as a career, but they offered me a job as a manager of a store. Then 3 months later, I was managing another store, so 2 stores, and then 3 months later, another store, and then I started to do the buying as well and going to Mallorca, and then within 2 years, I got offered a job at DKNY to go into wholesale and the more business side of it, and not just retail and retail management and buying. And then,
this was in New York?
No, this was in London first of all, so
Okay.
it was like the satellite office of DKNY in Donegalin in London, and then worked there for a couple of years, established some fantastic relationships, some very fortunate to work with some incredible people who are world leaders now for some incredible brands. So I got a very good introduction at a very early age, when I was 22, 23. And then worked at a company called Whitehouse, which is one of the biggest luxury men's American brands, and we launched that from America into Europe. And then DKNY called me back, and I went back to DKNY at a higher level and progressing. And then after 12, 18 months back with the company in London, then I got relocated to New York for a global position, and also working with design and working with merchandising, and
So all the way, Simon, it sounds to me you must have been impressing people. Did you have any slips, any knockbacks, or was it a steady progression up? If we look at the graph of your career, is it up?
Well, until that point, it was a very clear upward tangent. But it's strange, you don't think about it. I used to hate getting the tube. I hated, being on the tube with a million people squashed in, and somebody underneath your armpit, and so I'd travel early. I'd get up at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and go in early, just so that I could have a seat on the tube, and I'd arrive in the office, be the first one there. I'd do all the reports, print all the reports, I'd make a cup of tea for the director, and that would be it. But it was not to be a swat, it was because I didn't like coming on the tube, and it was more comfortable to be in the office early.
So you've got a lot to thank all those passengers.
Yeah, but then I found a rhythm that between 7 and 9 o'clock, you were at your most productive, and there was nobody around. You could print whatever you want, you could do whatever you want, and I'd do more work in that 2 hours than the rest of the day. And the rest of the day, you could be social.
I don't know to sort of trivialise this, but is the take-home message, if you want to succeed in life, get up early?
Kind of.
At least that worked for you.
Listen, I've never met a CEO who takes pride in working until 10, 11 o'clock at night. But every single CEO that I've worked with is in the office at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, do the maths. That's the clues are there, no?
Yeah.
So, generally, human beings are most productive in the morning. Of course, you get creative people who could, work into the night and things like that. But generally, if you're looking at it from a commercial or business perspective, the majority of people in an analytical point of view are most productive in the morning.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So there you are, DKNY, you're in New York. What did that feel like? New York's a wonderful city.
Yeah, you live in the street. Yeah, you live
such
in
a great vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, a crazy apartment building with an amazing view, the Hudson River and the Statue of Liberty, and I think I gained about 6-7 years experience within those 2.5 years. I was averaging 1 or 2 days off a month. Travelled all through Asia, all through Europe, travelled around America, and it was amazing. And as a 28-year-old kid who was still quite naive, it was an incredible school to be in a building in New York, Donegal, the most iconic New York brand, with 1,000 people inside that building. Very competitive. You got to watch your back. You really learn to navigate the political.
And how does a guy from Stoke do that? Because people from Stoke are very.
Well, we're very strict.
You speak your mind, don't you?
Well, we speak your mind, yeah, but also if you speak your mind too quickly in Stoke.
Right, I'm with you. So you a bit of the street wisdom. You can take.
I suppose so. I've never really thought about it like that. Maybe so.
So are you reading people? Are you seeing signs?
You're reading people all the time, aren't you? And I think the people in Stoke are very shrewd. We don't suffer fools lightly. And I think we're very, very good judges of characters. That's why it's an incredible place to come, Stoke-on-Trent, but it's also quite a hostile place to come, or can be, because we don't accept people to come here who are, looking to almost take something from us in a way,
Okay.
But if people want to come here and work and really contribute and connect with the people, then I feel that were very, very welcoming. And I suppose in a business perspective, I mean, I've not changed, I don't think, or I would hope not.
Your accent has. Sheila's picked up on it from Stafford. She says he's amazed by your accent.
People say I sound like Danish, but I don't know. But you know,
is it from living in so many different places?
Also, my dad was from Manchester. My dad was from Moss Side, Manchester.
Hear a little bit of that in there as well.
So he had a very thick Mancunian accent. And my mum was from Scotland Green. But I was born and raised in Stoke. But when working with the American companies, and if you speak in the broad Stoke accent, which I never really had anyway, you know, because of my dad, they just wouldn't understand. So you've got to tailor it a little bit just so that conversations go quicker.
And you've been in Milan recently. I mean, the
last 4 years I've been living in Milan.
And is that the main place in the whole world for fashion still? Is it?
That's a big debate. You know,
so it's a toss-up between Paris, Milan, and
you got the big four, which is New York, Milan, Paris, London, and it kind of changes, and it changes over time. But yeah, Milan is the big place commercially, probably for sure. Yeah. New York in a contemporary way, Paris in a very artistic, you know, almost avant-garde way, London in just a very cool way, and London's really, you know, coming up on the scene now. London's probably one of the most dynamic places to be right now.
Again, because we had it in the 90s with Cool Britannia, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're back there again.
No, it's coming again. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lady, Natalie Massenet, she's done an incredible job, and there's just so much going on in London now.
Okay, well, we'll talk a bit more about that with you, Simon, and with Simon Whitehouse, originally for Talk Pits, worked within the fashion industry all over the world in some of these amazing places, as you've heard. I want to talk about the fashion industry in a moment with you and ask you what it's like from an insider's point of view. We all have our preconceptions. This is John Legend, a guy with an amazing voice. This is a beautiful song. It's All of Me on BBC Radio Stoke.
Harry Potter? Hey, go on, give us a job, mate.
Hey, Brian Bull's Story of the Twos, part of the Big Bumper Bank Holiday Comedy 50th Birthday Weekend. This Sunday night at 9 on BBC Two and BBC Two HD.
Sounds good. I've just been chuckling along to that little advert there, little promo. I'm with my guest Simon Whitehouse from Talk Pits. Big in the fashion industry, still is, has been. We've worked for DKNY in New York. You've just come back from Milan. In fact, I've had this text message come in. Text number 81333, Stoke at the start. Did Simon ever use the Stoke bar Mind the Gap in Milan?
And no, I never went there actually. Because I'm not a Stoke fan, so Stoke's my second team because my dad from Manchester. I'm a United fan, but I was told about it. Apparently, there's a big Stoke fan club in Milan. In Milan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have known that.
I know. Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah, but no, I never went there. There was another bar that used to show the football. The English football pub, very imaginative name, and I used to go there. But also, I was travelling a lot. You know, I was travelling an awful lot. So.
We're talking about a busy man here.
Yeah.
Well, why are you in Stoke at the moment? You come here to visit family, have you?
Well, I've just left the role at Diesel with Renzo Rosso in Italy. And I'm in between roles, so I start a new role next week. I've moved back to London, so I only arrived back exactly 1 week ago.
And you did really well with Diesel, didn't you? It was, Diesel Black Gold was the brand you
exactly. I was an integral part of the team that has worked on this project, which is a very special project for Renzo over the last 4 years, and I'm incredibly proud of what we and the team were able to achieve. I worked with some fantastic people. The people of Veneto. Diesel is based in Veneto. A lot of people don't know that Diesel is a really Italian brand.
Okay.
You know, because it's been so successful on a global level. Some people think it's American. Some people, they're just not sure where it comes from. But it comes from Veneto in the like mountainside of northeast Italy, and the Venetian people are just incredible. They have this incredible work ethic. Borderline stubborn, which I connected with quite a lot. It's almost like the Stoke mentality where we're workers.
Yeah.
We're workers, and it was fantastic, and it was a very special project to position a line of the Diesel brand into a higher segment of the industry.
As a luxury brand, within a brand.
Not exactly luxury, but at a higher level. So when you're talking about a more casual, mainstream-ish lifestyle denim brand, it's very difficult to create a line in a higher segment, in a more contemporary or more accessible luxury segment. So in fact, it's never been done before in the world. Never. It's very easy to be like a luxury designer, to create a line, and then if you're successful, you get to a certain size of business, you create almost like a spin-off second line, a more accessible.
So you swam against the tide with these.
Totally against the tide, yeah, and I love that. And I've been very fortunate to meet and to work with Renzo Rosso, who is is one of the most wealthiest men in the world, and he's let's say he's like the Italian Richard Branson. Of the situation.
And you must have moved amongst some great people within the world of fashion. We've all got our sort of prejudices about the industry. And you talked earlier about you've got to watch your back. Politically within the office, there's a power game going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the industry like, though? What are the people? Are they away with the fairies? Are they sort of out of touch with reality? You're Stokey in this world, aren't you?
Yeah, that can happen, but there's a lot of awfully genuine people there too. But of course, it's we're in the business of creating an image, so you need to be out there. You need to be a little bit off the wall, especially
a bit Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but like I say, in any creative industry, you're seeing the future. This is not what I do. I believe that I bring the structure and the business acumen to bring the vision of the creative person to life, and create the solid foundation and the correct strategic plan and process to it to, bring that vision to life. That's what I do. So especially on the creative side, there's people who you would say, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds,
Do you ever find yourself having to reality check some of your colleagues?
Often. Me, myself, everybody, but that's part and parcel. That's the fun of it,
Yeah.
That's the interest.
And who reality checks you?
It's strange, I've got some a group of friends who have all been very successful as well. Dean, Giorgio, Cedric, they're probably listening to this, and we all keep each other very, very grounded. And they're all from very different places. One, Billericay, Essex, from Bergamo, Milan, from France, America, but you find it's people of a similar ilk, who are not carried away by the craziness that can be.
And everybody comes from somewhere, and everybody has roots. And for you, obviously, it's
you can't change where you come from. You can only change where you're going.
Is it a good thing that you come from Stoke in the fashion world? Do you see that as a good thing, or has it held you back?
I don't see it in any way at all. And if anybody did see that as anything, as in a negative way or a positive way, I don't know. I think they'd be a little bit foolish. You take people as to what they are and to what they've accomplished and the character of the person. No, doesn't matter where you come from.
Good to hear. There's more to you than fashion. A lot more to you, and we'll find out what that is after this. Is Etta James. I just want to make love to you. Talking today to Simon Whitehouse, BBC Radio Stoke. Etta James, what a voice, eh? I just want to make love to you. It's BBC Radio Stoke. It's 27 minutes to 12. Sorry, I don't want you reporting me to anybody. It's the name of the song. So I'm not proposing anything inappropriate at all. It's Etta James. I just want to make...
To me then, Jenny.
So I'm with Simon Whitehouse today from Talk Pits. We're big in the fashion world. It's a fascinating world as well that precious few of us know realistically what it's like. You must get a lot of questions, I guess, from people outside the industry. What's it like? Who have you met? Well, have you met Jay-Z?
No, I've not met Jay-Z, but apparently Renzo was very close to him. I've met various different celebrities. Adrian Brody, Elisabetta Canalis, George Clooney's ex-girlfriend. Wow, so many, I can't even think.
Well, you're going to, aren't you? You're moving in that world.
Well, at the runway shows, I would prepare, a lot of the seating at the runway shows, and I would work with the people from our company that would bring the celebrities, and then, I would know the collections. The collections would come under my remit, so I would help them. We dress the celebrities for the runway shows and things like this. Yeah.
Dress the performers and the guests.
Yeah. Because it's publicity in a way. No, I mean, Cannes is happening at the moment. That's like the biggest festival where celebrity placement with clothing is happening.
Yeah.
It's a massive part of the industry.
So that's one end of what goes on in your life. Rubbing shoulders with the great, the good, the muddied and the beautiful, and then you come home to Stoke and it's family.
Yeah.
Get your feet off the table, Simon.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there is more to you. You are one of these people who've got to a point in your life where you started to think about the humanity around you and put a bit back, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it started a while ago after my dad passed away, bless him, and we created an organisation doing children's World Cup soccer tournaments called SAI. We did tournaments in Brazil, we did tournaments in England. We were part of the 2008 Pelé, Gordon Banks, monument statue unveiling, and I've become very good friends with the Carlos Alberto Torres and his family, Diego and these people, and also Gordon, we met Pelé. We were very fortunate we got Pelé to present the replica of the World Cup.
What's he like?
In the first tournament, he's very down to earth, very humble.
Yeah.
But also, we brought one of our friends, Ricardo Rocha, who won the World Cup in '94, to Stoke to play in that game. So when Pelé came and then he saw Ricardo, I mean, they're all friends, so it was very nice, within that little circle. So that's, so in terms of giving back in a humanitarian aspect, I started to do that, which was difficult because usually, I'm not a rich person, I'm not a celebrity or anything like that. Usually it's people who arrive to a place and do that, but, I don't know, for me it was important. I had a dream and we brought it to life. But unfortunately, it needed to close, and since then, actually, I've been searching for a personal thing to do. Because my mind, I can't switch off my mind. So professionally, I invest a hell of a lot of time and effort. But then, even the night time, and I'm a terrible insomniac, and sometimes very, very difficult to be around. Like I say, I can't switch off. So. I had lunch with a friend of mine in December 2012, just before Christmas, in Milan. We were talking about what we wanted to do in 2013 and New Year's resolutions and things. And I was talking, I wanted to do some of the, the bucket list, like Machu Picchu and Grand Canyon and the Rocky Steps in Philadelphia.
Forget dolphins. They're overrated.
And then I came every Christmas, always Stoke, always with my mum and with my brother. And back home in Stoke, I started to Google, to plan out the year to do some of these things. And my mum was shouting, it's our Stephen's 40th birthday this year. We should do something special
your
for
brother.
My brother, sorry, I've got one brother. He's older than me, and bless him, he kind of had a mental breakdown 20 years ago. So he's been a bit poorly. He's been poorly since then. So my mum was saying, we should do something special, and I was thinking, it's Fashion Week in February, New York. I always go for the runway show, so maybe. I can get a train to New York, to Philadelphia on my own, take a few cheesy photos, I can tick that off the bucket list. And my mum was saying this about my brother's birthday at the same time. I was Googling it, it said 96 miles, and for some reason I thought I could run that. And I could do it for my brother's birthday.
And the significance of Philadelphia for you and your brother, of course, is the Rocky film.
We used to watch Rocky when we were kids, like most kids, we'd watch Indiana Jones and Star Wars and, all those kind of movies. And we used to watch Rocky, and we used to play fight and things like that, and he was my hero. My brother was my, idol, loved him to bits. We were super close, and he was a wonderful, incredible, man. And then unfortunately, when he was 20, his life changed and mine didn't. So, there's a lot of tremendous subconscious and conscious, guilt and things like that don't sit very easily with me about that. So it was a very cathartic process to do this run.
And you'd stumbled across something which is known as an ultra marathon.
Yeah, so once I got this idea in my mind that I wanted to run it from New York to Philadelphia, and we raised money for Mind, and in fact the money will probably go to the local North Staff's Mind charity. Once I'd got it in my mind, like I'm a big believer in visualization.
Yeah.
You have a dream. If you visualize something, then anything is possible. And the same as when from Pelé lifting the World Cup, or to go to New York, or, to achieve these things. I'm a big believer in visualization.
And was the visual image you running up the steps?
Absolutely.
Like Rocky?
Yeah,
in Philadelphia.
Cheesy, yeah, but
load of kids behind
That was the dream, yeah. It didn't end up like that, but yeah, we arrived at the steps.
But you did run up the steps, didn't you?
Yeah, it took 29 hours non-stop.
That's a long staircase.
Hallucination. Yeah,
from New York, right?
Sorry, yeah, from Central Park, New York. Yeah, it was April. Usually, I had no idea how to do it. I'd never done a half marathon. I'd never done a marathon before. I'd never had any real ambitions to do a marathon, but it was just in my mind, and I gave myself 3 months to do it. So I asked people who were interested in sport and these things. And they told me about Ultra. I went immediately to Amazon. I bought 10 books on Ultra. They said, most of them are vegan. So within 2 weeks, I became vegan. I was a vegan for 3 months. Yeah, I lost a ton of weight, obviously.
So you sound to me, Simon, as that once you get an idea in your head, you do whatever it takes to reach the goal.
Yeah, you just work backwards, and
how do I get there?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because you can climb a mountain by taking just 1 or 2 simple steps. But the important thing is that you've got to go. You've got to, you don't sit around waiting for it.
An amazing thing for somebody who's not a marathon runner at all to achieve. And
it was shocking, yeah.
And you should be congratulated for that. We can't talk about your new business in great deals of detail, can we? But you're going to London. You're going to be heading up a new company.
Professionally, no. There's going to be an announcement next week.
Yeah.
So I can't say. What I can say is, though, it's part of the leading luxury group in the world, and it's a company which is, in my opinion, the most dynamic, the most incredible, the most progressive, the most off the wall, the most modern brand that's out there in the world at the moment. So I'm psyched about it. I'm super excited about it.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't say what it is yet.
No, there's going to be an answer next week.
Yeah. I get commercial sensitivities and all that, but I wish you all the best with that, and you've done the area proud.
Thank you.
In so many ways, really good to meet you today.
Thanks.
Simon Whitehouse, originally for Talk Bits, and back again to visit his folks and maybe do a bit more running as well. Good to see you.